Unrivaled has just lost 65% of its audience in a single year, and the same WNBA players who were threatening to strike just last month are now scrambling to return to their previous salaries. The momentum that once made this league look unstoppable is fading fast, exposing serious cracks in what was supposed to be a growing empire. What we're witnessing isn't a slow decline. It's a collapse happening in real time, and the numbers make it impossible to ignore.
Been telling you guys there is no interest in pretend basketball. I have been telling you guys for years, as the mainstream media has intentionally lied to us. These elite athletes are amazing! This is the best basketball in the world! Woohoo!
The numbers don't lie, and they're absolutely brutal. Unrivaled second season opened on TNT with just 107,000 viewers, compared to 313,000 on opening night last year. That's not a small dip, that's a full-on nosedive off a cliff. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. The only true draw in women's basketball has just proven how irreplaceable she really is.
Season 2 of Unrivaled, opening night. They averaged 107,000 viewers on TNT. That is a 65% decline compared to last year.
Because when Caitlin Clark isn't on your screen, nobody's watching. Not Angel Reese, not Paige Buchers, not Aya Wilson. Unrivaled is paying Paige Buchers $348,000 to pull barely 17,000 viewers. Do the math. TNT spent millions promoting this league, and the media kept telling us women's basketball was exploding. But the audience sent a brutal message. They don't want more. They're tuning out. Unrivaled was created to give WNBA players leverage, a backup option to demand better contracts. Sounds smart, right? Except the backup plan only works if it actually succeeds, and Unrivaled is collapsing faster than the league itself. Now here's a shocker. After months of strike threats and tough talk, players are suddenly considering playing under the same old CBA they once called insulting. That tells you everything about how fast this narrative just fell apart.
For months now, WNBA players have publicly claimed that we are standing firm. We are fighting for our right to be overpaid. We are fighting for our right to be compensated with money we have no way of earning.
How do you go from demanding millions to accepting crumbs in less than 2 months? You lose your leverage. Every embarrassing Unrivaled rating weakens the WNBA players' negotiating power, and every time TNT executives question their investment, that leverage shrinks even more. The NBA offered players 50% of net revenue, which is the money left after expenses, a reasonable offer for a league that has lost money for nearly 30 years. Yet the players rejected it and demanded 30% of gross revenue, meaning before expenses, a deal that would push the league into hundreds of millions in losses. Ironically, the league is now offering million-dollar contracts, exactly what players originally wanted. Yet pride and inflated expectations are pushing some to prefer old salaries instead of accepting reality, even though bills, rent, and real life don't accept principles as payment. The market is already exposing the truth behind the headlines that claimed women's basketball was exploding, because most of that growth was an illusion driven almost entirely by one superstar, Caitlin Clark, while the rest of the product continues to struggle for real demand. Unrivaled was supposed to be the leverage play, the safety net that would allow players to walk away from the WNBA and demand more power. But that backup plan collapsed as ratings fell, investors grew nervous, and networks question the value of continuing to fund a league that can't attract consistent viewers. Now, after months of strike threats and bold talk, players are quietly considering playing under the same old CBA they once called insulting, proving how quickly confidence disappears when leverage evaporates. The uncomfortable reality is that the WNBA survives largely because of NBA subsidies, and while billionaire owners have funded years of losses, their patience is not unlimited, especially when alternative leagues fail to prove a real market exists. Media hype continues to promote new stars and future growth, yet ratings show that marketed popularity does not translate into real audience demand, reinforcing players' union's biggest miscalculation, believing that one generational star meant the entire league deserved generational money. If the next season happens under the old agreement, solidarity will fade fast as individual financial survival takes priority over collective ideals, because when money gets tight, beliefs become flexible. The The truth is the NBA does not need the WNBA in a business sense, and what looks like partnership is often close to charity, meaning the illusion of leverage disappears the moment the investment no longer feels worthwhile. Unrivaled's failure doesn't just signal the collapse of the startup league. It highlights the commercial ceiling of women's basketball, where interest spikes only when Caitlin Clark is involved and quickly drops without her presence. What comes next is simple. Players either accept a deal close to the old CBA or risk striking and discovering how replaceable they truly are, while media continues to sell optimism, and the same debate repeats itself next year. Because in the end, the market decides value, not narratives, not hype, and not feelings.